Okay, so each of these 9 levels of evolution develops certain things in the human's civilization. And what is very notable among these levels of evolution is the one that started about 5,000 years ago. That's basically the beginning of human civilizations. The Egypt, Sumer, and a couple of other places, people for the first time went away from just pure bartering and started to use some labeled coins and weighed pieces of silver. And step by step, it became more and more systematic use of coins and gold and these things, until when we come to the fruit of this whole development, the actual gold and value in the coins was abandoned, and we started to use paper money in terms of like paper bills. And this is an interesting example where we can see that somehow the human mind and how we relate to one another in the economy is influenced by these different time cycles that the Mayan calendar describes. Now, this is still fairly old material that I'm talking about, and we will need to go.
It's okay, we're going to start now. This is fairly old material.
Yeah.
Start there.
Yeah.
Now.
And now, this is talking about basically the old world of history, so to speak. And in order to come to our present situation, we need to see that 2 more levels of evolution have been activated, each of which is developed through these 13 time periods, and each of which has different characteristics, basically. So on top of this, which developed the basic paper money, came a new such cycle that in 1755 started to activate the world of industrialism. This is also a time when a lot of novelty was introduced in the world. It's a time of the American Revolution. It's a time when many countries separated church and state. It's a time when the steam engine started to roll. And these are seeds that would go on step by step in another level to bring the world into the kind of industrialized world that we see here today. Now, what's interesting here is that you can, if you subdivide these 13 gods, as the Maya would call it, these 13 cosmic forces, you will find that they can be, they are like days and nights. In other words, there are 7 periods that are forward movement of innovation, creativity, new technological things coming into existence that are alternating with time periods that are more of a rest, of an integration, of a preparation for a new period of forward creativity. And so when you look at the history of industrialization, you will find that these different periods play a significant role in how the human society was developed and also how its technology was developed. And this is a very important thing if you want to understand how the Mayan calendar works. It is to understand that our mind, our creativity is not independent of the cosmic forces, what the Maya would call gods, but the cosmic energies. Instead, every such time period has a different purpose, a very significant purpose of bringing a particular change around. So it is the days that have been bringing the innovation. Now, if you look at the more recent economic history of the world, you will also see that it's markedly so that those time periods that are nights are times that are bringing depressions, economically speaking, whereas those time periods that are days, they are bringing new prosperity in terms of the economy, or the wheels turning at a much faster rate. Let me just briefly go over this, that like in 1893, when a night started, they talked about this in the US as the Great Depression. That was not what we today talk about, the Great Depression, because that came in 1932, which is now known as the Great Depression because it really meant a big downturn. And that was the time, that was brought by the energy that we might call the fifth night in this whole wave movement. And then comes the sixth night in this wave movement that you may remember around 1972, when there was this energy crisis that made the growth be much, much slower than it had been in previous times. And then if you instead, rather than looking on the depressions, you might also look at the times of economic growth, and those are the times in between, the times that are days. And the last one started in 1991. That was a time when all the telecom, all the internet, and all this whole new world of information technology emerged. And so that brought a period of economic growth. So you get a clear picture when you look upon this of how these energies are alternating and bringing about a wave movement of growth and alternating with depressions or recessions.